You have made the right choice by clicking on this video. It wasn't just a random decision, nor was it simply out of curiosity. It was a divine moment, a touch from heaven, a direct intervention, a personal appointment I set just for you. Before your eyes even saw the thumbnail, before your finger tapped the screen, I had already set this moment aside for you. What seemed like a small action, a fleeting click, is actually part of a greater plan that began long before today, even before you were born. Don't underestimate the significance of this moment. It was prepared with care. It wasn't by chance, but by purpose. Listen closely. Heaven has gently guided you here because your spirit needed this word. This breath, this confirmation. I have seen you in secret, watched your struggles. I have counted your tears, and I have been with you in those moments when no one else understood your pain, when you smiled on the outside, but wept on the inside. This message you are hearing wasn't written by a person. I whispered it to you. And if you are here, it is because your faith, though sometimes weak, is still alive. Just by that simple act of faith, by that click, you have opened a spiritual door, and through it, I will enter with double blessings. I don't work by coincidence, I work by promises. And the promises over your life are still active, even if you feel the time has passed. I am never late. I come when the harvest is ready. Pay close attention now, because what you are hearing is not just any message. It is not another ordinary word. It is a spiritual decree, a command being written in heaven right now. Every word being spoken is like ink from heaven, marking a new chapter in your destiny. Angels are positioning themselves around you. Spiritual doors are opening, and invisible chains are quietly falling. But with great power, what I am releasing now carries the seal of the kingdom of heaven. And when my kingdom speaks, nothing in hell can stop what I have decided to do. You who have often felt that you give, sow and pray, yet still see no progress. I know your heart. I saw every seed you planted with tears. I was there when you gave, even when you had nothing left to give. You have worked, you have prayed, and you have remained faithful, even when the results seem to be delayed. Others around you have shared their stories of success, and while they have celebrated, you have waited in silence. But let me tell you, your waiting has not been in vain. Every seed you have sown is being counted, and not only will you receive the fruit, but also the rewards of patience, the interest that has built up over time. Now I ask something from you. Don't see this as just another video or something to watch casually. This is a direct message from my throne. And as a sign of your faith, I want you to take a simple step, like this video, not because it is a habit, not because of pride, but as a visible declaration that you believe in the unseen. Each like you give is like an amen rising to heaven. It is as if you are giving the angels permission to move on your behalf. I don't need this to go viral. I need you to respond with faith. This word is for you, and it is personal. It is not for everyone, but for those who have spiritual ears to hear. I chose you to receive this miracle. There are things I will reveal to you in secret, because some rewards are given only in private moments with me. There are miracles that are meant to stay between us, treasured in the quiet of your heart. Get ready, because what is about to unfold cannot be stopped by anyone. Stay here and pay attention to every word. This is the beginning of something new. This will be your last chance to continue as you have before. My child, hear me clearly. You are not here by mistake, and this moment is not just a random occurrence. I have brought you to this place at this very time because I have something to give you. something that has been prepared for you long ago. This is not just a nice message or a few encouraging words. This is my voice speaking directly to your heart. The whisper of my spirit reaching the deepest part of your soul. Today, I am not here to entertain you, but to awaken you. I have come to stir your faith, to remind you that I am still the same God who splits seas, who breaks down walls, who brings life to what was dead, and who calls things into existence as though they already were. You have walked through seasons where the silence was so deafening. You began to think I had forgotten you, but I have never left you, and I will never forget. You wondered if your prayers were being heard, if your cries were lost in the air. You questioned whether I was really listening. But today, I want to speak to you clearly, and with certainty. I was there all along. I was there when you thought about giving up. I was there when you couldn't find a way out, when everyone else walked away and you were left standing alone. And not for a moment did I turn away from you. Every day you held on, every time you refused to let go of my hand, every amen you whispered through tears was heard and sent straight to my throne. Now, imagine this, a truck filled with blessings, with answers, with everything you have been waiting for. A truck didn't just leave today, it left a long time ago. It was loaded long ago. It was set in motion a long time ago, and it has always had your name on the delivery order. But along the way, it faced difficult roads, spiritual mud, and slippery ground full of unseen obstacles. Enemies you don't even know. Harmful words spoken by jealous people, and demons assigned just to block what belongs to you. A truck got stuck, halted, holding your promise, but unable to reach you. But today, I am here with power. I am the strong tractor that pulls that truck from the mud. I am the divine wind that speeds up the delivery. I am the King of Kings, signing the release order with divine correction and interest. In my kingdom, nothing is lost. What is yours cannot be lost, cannot spoil, cannot remain in a spiritual warehouse. What I promised you will reach your hands, because over you rests an ancient promise that is about to break into your reality. This is not something new. It is something I have been protecting for years. Today, I am telling you that you will not only receive what you expected, but you will also receive restoration, honor, peace, and even the time you thought was lost, returned with heavenly bonuses. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every season when you felt invisible to others, I saw it all. I saw when you gave without expecting anything in return. I saw when you helped, even when you were in need yourself. I saw when you chose silence and trust. Don't think that was forgotten. Don't believe I didn't notice, because I am the God who knows the hearts, who rewards obedience, and who honors those who honor me. Do you remember those early mornings when you prayed with little strength left, when you could barely say my name, when your prayers were drowned in tears? I was there, I heard. I remembered, because I never forget those who trust in me. Although the world turned away from you, underestimated you, and ignored you, I watched you with love and tenderness. Every tear you shed was never in vain. Each drop was like a seed planted in fertile soil. And today, that seed is ready to sprout. Today marks the beginning of your harvest. You will not only see answers to your prayers, but you will witness miracles. You will not just receive back what you lost, but you will receive more than you imagined. I am the God who delights in surprising those who endure. Stay here. Remain where you are. Don't walk away. Don't ignore this message, because while you are here, Things are already shifting. The truck is no longer stuck. It is moving forward. The ground that once held it back is now giving way. Angels are pushing. And what seemed like a delay will soon become a testimony. Today is your day right now, not tomorrow, not later. Before you were born, the story of your life was already written in heaven. Every part of your journey, every struggle, every victory, and even every loss was planned. Nothing you have experienced has been overlooked. And every season you have gone through had a purpose. Although you may have felt that doors closed unfairly, that certain paths became dark when you thought you were doing the right thing, none of that was outside my plan. Even the detours were part of a greater purpose that is now starting to unfold. Many times, you walked with a heavy heart, not understanding why your efforts didn't bring the results you hoped for. You gave your time, energy, love, and faith. But all you received in return was indifference, rejection, and betrayal. You saw others achieve what you also longed for, while you stayed standing, holding on to hope. Even though you said nothing, you felt the weight of comparison. You felt the silence of heaven, and wondered why you kept sowing seeds without seeing any fruit. But it wasn't abandonment, it was training. It wasn't forgetting, it was preparation. Gold doesn't form easily. It is shaped deep within, under pressure and fire. And just like gold, you were shaped like a hidden gem, polished with tears and molded through brokenness. What I value, I refine. What I call mine, I protect, even when it seems like I am breaking it. And now, after all the waiting, the enduring and the trusting without seeing, the time of manifestation has come. You are entering a season where what once seemed impossible will start to happen effortlessly. What once came with struggle will now come with peace. Not because of your effort, but because of my faithfulness. Cycles are ending. Chapters that will never be rewritten, but sealed with the fulfillment of purpose. Because what I have determined is coming to pass, and my word never fails. It doesn't matter who doubted you, who mocked you, or who looked down on you. The approval of heaven will always outweigh the opinion of man. Every moment when you chose to act with integrity, even when no one noticed, when you gave up revenge, when you decided to forgive, when you chose to do good, despite being repaid with evil. Each of these built an invisible altar raised by your obedience. And from that altar, a cry was lifted that today is being answered with an unchangeable decree. The blessing has been released. It is not just an improvement or a small favor. It is a direct intervention, a restoration of what was stolen, distorted, or interrupted. Everything the enemy thought he had destroyed, I have kept in reserve. And I will not only return it to you, but it will come back expanded. Because while I restore, I don't just return things the way they were. I return them with increase. That project that seemed to have died is now coming back to life. That relationship that felt beyond repair will be healed, if there is willingness. That health that was weakening will be made strong. That unstable economy will be set firm. Not because you will do it all, but because I am placing my hand directly on what surrounds you. Everything that was out of place will begin to fall into order. Not by chance, but because a sovereign intervention has begun in the unseen world. And now, it will touch the earth. There are decisions being made in your favor, even when you are not there. There are conversations where your name will be spoken for good. There are doors opening without you needing to knock. Not because anyone owes you, but because I have declared that it is time for them to open. What seemed permanently closed will be opened with eternal purpose. And even though you thought you had wasted years, Those years are being redeemed. Time is not your enemy when I step in. I am taking everything you have lost and placing it before you again. But this time, it will be better multiplied and matured. Because in my kingdom, nothing you give me is wasted. Everything is transformed, everything is used, and everything is rewarded. Do not turn your heart to doubt, and do not give in to fear. What I have started, I will finish. The work began some time ago, but now it is moving faster. What once seemed slow will suddenly speed up. What once seemed heavy will suddenly feel light. I am walking ahead of you, and when I go ahead, nothing remains the same. What belongs to you has not been lost. It was simply being prepared to arrive at the right time, and that time is now. There are moments in life when everything feels paused. You know you have received promises. You know something great was planted inside you, but the surroundings don't change. The circumstances remain still, and what you have been waiting for hasn't come. During this long pause that seems to last forever, your mind fills with doubts. You start wondering if it wasn't meant for you, if you were wrong, if you imagined it, or if your time has passed. But I want you to understand that the delay is not a denial. It is a strategy. Every pause, every silence, every waiting moment has been filled with purpose. You were being positioned for a victory that couldn't be rushed. Some of your battles were not against the world, but against the thoughts that tried to take away your vision, your identity, and the spiritual inheritance I placed in you before you even breathed your first breath. What others received quickly took you years to attain. What many gained through human connections, you were denied again and again. But it wasn't punishment, it was protection. What comes too easily is often lost too easily. I didn't want you to come lightly to what is meant for you. I wanted you to arrive strong, knowing who you are in me, with clean hands, a pure heart, and a character made firm. There were moments when I opened doors for you, but you didn't step through out of fear. Other times, it was you knocking, but I closed those doors because I knew what was behind them. Some opportunities that made you cry were not blessings. They were distractions in disguise. I took away what you thought you needed to give you what would truly build you. And although it hurt at the time, now you will understand why it was necessary. You were being prepared for something greater. I don't do things by chance. Every plan I have is done with precision. There is no room for mistakes in my plans. What was delayed will now be made to move quickly by my hand, not because of your pressure, but because the time has come to fulfill it. I don't act out of anxiety, but out of fulfillment. There is a time to sow, and there is an exact time to reap. And now, I am bringing you to the moment where everything begins to fall into place. Your prayers haven't been ignored. They have been stored. Every act of obedience, no matter how small, holds weight before me. What you did in secret, without looking for praise, was recorded in eternity. Faithfulness isn't measured by visible results, but by consistency in the silence. And you were consistent, not perfect, not flawless, but surrendered. And that, my child, is worth more than 1,000 words. I am stepping in where you didn't even know there was a battle. There were things blocking your path, and you weren't even aware of them. Conversations were taking place without your knowledge. Decisions were being made without your input, and obstacles were forming in the spiritual realm, preventing what I had prepared for you from reaching you. But now, I am clearing the way, removing everything that doesn't build, breaking down the words that were spoken against you, and canceling the agreements the enemy tried to make to stop your progress. What I have decided to give you doesn't need anyone's approval. It doesn't require their understanding of what I am doing in your life. There will be people who will not understand why. All of a sudden, everything begins to open up. Why everything starts to fall into place. But you don't owe them an explanation. All you need to do is keep your heart in alignment with me. Because while you stay on the path I have set for you, I will make sure everything else falls into place for your good. Stop looking for more external signs. Don't compare your journey to others. The work I am doing in you is not a copy of anyone else's path. It is unique, it is deep, and it will leave a mark that many will see, not because of you, but because of my hand on your life. I have chosen to glorify myself through you in such a way that no one will be able to take the credit. When they witness what I will do with you, they will have to admit this could only have been done by God. There have been times when I left you with less to teach you, that with me, you always have enough. I allowed you to walk through difficult seasons, not to destroy you, but to teach you to depend on me. And now that your dependence is firmly rooted in me, I can trust you with more and more influence, more resources, more connections, more opportunities, but not so you can be exalted, but so you can be a channel. Because what is coming into your life is not just for you. It will be a flow of blessings. What you receive today will bless others through you. You are about to enter a season where the answers will come quickly. The doors will open without warning, and miracles will become a normal part of your life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you have aligned your life with my will. The supernatural will begin to feel natural because I have been preparing you to live by faith, not just to believe in times of crisis. The cycle of effort without results is closing. The cycle of sowing without reaping is ending. You are stepping into a season where you will see with your own eyes what you once only believed by faith. You will not need to convince anyone. A fruit will speak for you. There are times when the weight of life becomes so heavy, so relentless, that your soul begins to wear down without you even realizing it. It is no longer just about the obvious problems, but an inner exhaustion that builds up quietly. Responsibilities pile on. Other people's expectations turn into invisible burdens, and your mind starts fighting itself every day. You don't say it, but sometimes you just wish you could stop everything for a moment and breathe without having to prove anything. You wish you could let go of the weight, but you don't know how. You wish you could ask for help, but you feel like no one would understand the struggles you are facing. And I have been there, not from a distance, but closer than you think. I have seen you keep moving forward, even when your soul is begging for rest. I have seen you smile on the outside while silently screaming for relief on the inside. I haven't ignored your struggles, nor have I overlooked the hard choices you made out of love for what is right, even when no one said thank you. I have paid attention to everything you didn't say in order to keep the peace. I know the words you swallowed to avoid hurting others, the efforts you made to hold things together when everything seemed to be falling apart. What you are going through now is not punishment, but a transition, a delicate moment between what was and what is about to be. You are at the narrowest part of the road, where everything feels tight, where there is no space to breathe, and where the pressure on you feels like it is coming from every direction. But this pressure is not meant to crush you. It is meant to shape you. What I am creating in you is too big for the old ways that used to hold you. The old thoughts, emotional habits, and fears that accompanied you are being broken, because they can no longer go with you to where I am leading you. Your identity is being refined. I am removing the labels others placed on you, the words you believed as truths, and the wounds that created an image of you that was never mine. I am returning you to the person I originally designed you to be, not as the person others expected, but as the one I dreamed of when I created you in secret, when I wrote your name in my book and gave you eternal purpose. Many judged your journey from the outside, not knowing what was really happening inside of you. But I do not see as others see. While they look at the outside, I see the roots. And I have seen the healthy roots within you that you didn't even realize were there. I have seen your compassion when you could have acted harshly. I have seen your humility when others would have lifted themselves up. I have seen your honesty when lying would have been easier to avoid the truth. That is what has eternal value. That is what touches my heart. And because of that, even though the world may not have acknowledged those actions, I will reward them in a way that is far greater. I am not speeding up your life to bring you worldly success. I am lifting your spirit so you can live in fullness. There is a big difference between success and fullness. Success relies on applause, on external recognition, and on visible accomplishments. But fullness is something deeper. It is peace that is not dependent on your circumstances. It is joy that remains steady even during the storm. It is knowing who you are, even when others cannot see it. It is having the confidence that you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing what you were created to do. That is where I am leading you. In areas where you once felt insecure, my grace will now show up with even greater power. What you once saw as your weakness will become the place where my strength is made perfect. You don't need a perfect faith. You need a sincere one. I am not looking for perfection, but for willingness. And you have shown that, even with your doubts, even during your weak moments, that sincerity is the fertile ground where I plant eternal things. There have been people who tried to dim your light, not out of hate, but from hidden jealousy. They tried to make you feel small, make you doubt your worth, and convince you that you didn't have what it takes. But none of those words have the power to cancel out what I have already affirmed. The favor on your life will speak louder than any criticism. You don't need to defend yourself, because the fruit will speak for you. I am realigning your connections. I am bringing people into your life who have clean hearts, pure intentions, and a shared vision, relationships that will build you up, not drain you. I am separating what does and contribute to your growth and drawing, and what will help propel your purpose. Don't fear when some people move out of your life. Don't see it as a loss. What may feel like rejection is often freedom. I am making room because the next season of your life cannot be shared with just anyone. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you in this new phase, and during this time, a peace you cannot explain will begin to fill your heart. It will not be fleeting, but permanent. A peace that doesn't depend on things going right, but on knowing that I am in control. It is a deep inner security that isn't based on what you have, but on who you are in me. I am bringing you to a place where you don't need to prove anything, because everything you need has already been placed inside you. Get ready. Not because something is about to happen, but because it is already in motion. The transition is finished. The journey is nearly complete. What hath been building up inside you will soon turn into a visible reality, and it will not be by your effort, but by my intervention. You made the right choice by clicking on this video. It wasn't just a random decision, nor was it driven by curiosity or coincidence. It was a touch from heaven, a direct act of intervention, a personal appointment I set for you in your life, before you even saw the thumbnail, before your finger touched the screen. I had already planned this moment for you. You might have thought it was a small action, something insignificant. But what you are about to experience is part of a divine plan that began before you were even born. Do not take this moment lightly. I have prepared it with great care. It wasn't by chance, but with purpose. Listen closely. It was heaven gently guiding you here, because your spirit needed a word, a breath of hope, a confirmation. I have seen you. I have watched you in secret, and I have counted every tear. I have been with you on the nights when no one understood your pain, when you smiled on the outside, but wept on the inside. This message you are hearing is not just something written by a man. I whispered it into your heart. If you are here, it is because your faith, though sometimes weak, is still alive. That simple click you made was an act of faith that opened a spiritual door. And through the door, I will enter with double the reward. I do not work by chance. I work by promises. There are promises over your life that are still in effect, even if you think the time has passed. I am never late. I come when the harvest is ripe. What you are hearing now is not just another word. It is a spiritual decree. It is an order being signed in heaven at this very moment. Every word I speak now is like heavenly ink marking a new chapter in your destiny. Angels are positioning themselves. Spiritual doors are opening, and unseen chains are falling silently, but with great power. What I am releasing now carries the seal of my kingdom. And when my kingdom decrees something, nothing in hell can stop it. I know you felt like you have given, sown and prayed, but still nothing seems to change. I have seen every seed you planted with tears. I was there when you gave, even when you had nothing left. You have worked, prayed, and been faithful, even when the results didn't show up. While others around you have testified and prospered, you have waited quietly. But I tell you, your waiting has not been in vain.